Hey, good afternoon, Facebook followers. My name is Tom Lowy. I'm a reporter and columnist from the Galesburg Register Mail, and I'm very happy on this Thursday afternoon to be sitting with two people for whom I have a great amount of respect and always enjoy talking to, Mr. Dwight White and Mr. Anthony Law. And we're here to talk about, and I'm going to get this all these words right in the right order.
Okay.
We're here to talk about the annual Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Committee Breakfast.
Bang!
And it's going to be 7 a.m. Monday, and everybody's going to meet at the First Lutheran Church, and that's at 364 Water Street, and so that people can place it. What always helps me is geography, right? And that's going to be at the corners of Waters and Seminary.
Correct. Got it.
How you folks doing today?
We're doing just fine.
You did radio
Great.
already, and you did a great job.
Thank you, sir.
So that we let WGIL be the warm up today.
All right.
Okay.
Just ahead of Rush.
Well, I'll just leave that right where that is. Mr. Dwight White, you are part of the committee, the president of the MLK Junior
Yes.
Celebration Committee. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about this year, what people can expect to see when they go Monday at 7 a.m. for breakfast.
Well, first of all, you're going to see a young man, and he's going to welcome you, and he's going to be looking like Martin Luther King. A grade school young man,
right?
And he's going to do our welcoming this year.
All right.
First Lutheran Church is a beautiful place. When you come in there, they're going to have it all set up, and you're going to think you're at a 4-course meal.
Right.
But then followed by that, we're going to have a young lady's going to sing a song and do a poem, and it's just going to be a good time.
Okay. And the important thing for people to recognize, I'm going to jump in here, is that this they're going to pay for a plate, and all the money's raised at this event. Every single dime, every single penny goes to the Celebration Committee's scholarship fund.
Yes.
Correct.
Every dime that we draw, every dime we raise goes to scholarships. I was telling you earlier that our committee pays for our post office box, our envelopes, our letters, letterheads, everything every cost that we have, it comes out of our pockets.
Right.
Because we want the community to know that the money they give us is the money that we give out.
Right.
And there's no overhead. We never pay overhead. First Lutheran Church is just doing this, and they're feeding us, and it's not costing us a dime. And
very streamlined from the community to the scholarships.
Correct.
To the
directly.
Kids.
So
right.
Every dime goes to scholarships.
Mr. Anthony Law, you're going to be the keynote speaker this year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dwight asked me, and I'm very happy to accept that honor. I'm excited about the opportunity. There's been a lot of great keynote speakers over the years.
Right, you got big shoes to fill.
Big shoes. But I hope that I have a message that people can relate to. When it comes to Dr. King, I always think about the fact that truly an activist that kept the action in the word.
Right.
Not everybody agrees with the way that he did things, but you can never take away the fact that he did them, and that he was willing to make those kind of sacrifices for the betterment of everybody. That's one thing that is, we talked before, that has been a challenge per se. People looked at, when we first started talking about Martin Luther King holiday, people started looking at it as, okay, it's a black holiday. Well, Dr. King himself, even in my most favorite speech, I Had a Dream speech, he talked about children of all colors, of all races, living in the kind of world that he envisioned for his own children.
Right.
He didn't say black children, he didn't say white children, he didn't say Hispanic children, he said all, and he named them. So this is a celebration of a better world.
Right.
And a man who gave sacrifices throughout his life, and ultimately gave the ultimate sacrifice following the dream that he believed in. So that's what we're doing. Hopefully people will get an opportunity to hear what I have to say, to process it, think about it, and then my goal is that they will leave ultimately saying, okay, what's my dream for a better world? And what can I do to make that dream a reality?
To build on what Anthony Law just said, we've been talking earlier, and it's been kind of a point of a joke, a good-natured joke, in that you can call Martin Luther King Doctor, you can call him Reverend, or you can just refer to him by his Martin Luther King Jr. name. Here's a man who was a religious leader and a social leader, a civil rights leader, and planned a Poor People's March and died while leading marches for striking waste workers, sanitation workers, right? So, an incredible guy.
Yes.
So, for you personally, what would you like people to walk away with after Monday's breakfast?
That same servant attitude.
Interesting. Yeah, okay.
He was a servant. That's my job, and that's my role. I'm a servant to my community. And the functions that I do, I'm trying to be a servant. As the chairman, I'm serving some young kids that need to go to college. I'm serving some older people that need to go to college, because our scholarship can go to traditional or non-traditional students. Right. So that means if you're 50 years old and you want to go back to college and you have a need space, you can take our scholarship, sign up for it, and we'll go over it and see if you qualify.
Right.
So I'm serving the community. The Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Committee is serving the community as Martin Luther King served his community and his nation.
Anthony Law, have you had much response yet? I know people, it's like such a busy world, and it's hard to kind of, but I guess I know that in the past you're always involved. So how's response been so far?
I think, to be honest, a lot of people are supportive. And one of the things that I say, it's a day off for most people.
Right.
We're asking to be out there. Thing. Exactly. We're asking to be out there at 7 a.m. But the reality is, it gives you an opportunity to meet with everybody that's going to be there. Is getting up at 7 a.m. to join in this celebration. Everybody that's going to be there is supportive of what his committee is doing, the scholarship opportunities it's going to provide for students in our community, and to meet like-minded people. I tell people all the time, Galesburg is a great community. If you personally don't see it as a great community, it may not be in your circle. Find somebody who likes where they are and find out why.
Right.
And then maybe, and you know what? Like I say before, I tell my students all the time, if not you, then who? What that means is simply this. If you see something that needs to be done, you do it, or you find who is doing it and you support them.
Right.
And that's the reality. Galesburg is the community that we collectively make it.
Right.
This is an opportunity to, and it's a celebration.
Correct.
And Dwight really pushes this. I don't want to steal his thunder, but Dwight always says, when you go there, if you leave there without have met somebody new, that's on your fault, because that's the purpose of this.
Right.
Meet somebody that you would not typically know and build a relationship. You're all going to have that different pathways to get there, but everybody here is dedicated to making this community better. And that's the reality. I tell my students all the time, too, and not to keep going, but I'm excited about, whenever I get an opportunity to talk about this, I get excited. I tell my students, when you get frustrated about changing the world, start by changing yourself. Right. Then change your neighborhood. Then change your community, your state, and your country, and then the world. It all starts with you. I can sit here and let everything negative keep me down. Or I can say, what do I have control over changing? And it always starts, the one thing I have total control over is my mind and my attitude towards things. Right. So that's what Dr. King was doing when he shared his dream. He was sharing his dream. He didn't say, he said, I have a dream. He didn't say, you have a dream. Right. We have a dream. This is my dream. I want to share it with you so that you can build on this. For some of us, especially at that time, the things that Dr. King talked about, some of us couldn't even fathom. I mean, if you were in an oppressed state of mind, you could not fathom children of every race, color, and creed being able to play together. But he told you that was his dream. Now, what he left that with is also the opportunity for you to dream as well. You know, I'm threatened every day, but I can still go to bed and dream of a better world. I mean, Dr. King went to jail for standing up for people's rights and beliefs. And still, the next day, he woke up with a dream. Dr. King wrote one of his most powerful letters
Right.
from a jail cell.
Birmingham letter.
He wasn't sitting in there crying and saying, these people, and come out of there with hatred. He came out there with more desire, even more desire to make this world a better place. If not for himself, then for his kids and his kids' kids. And there, he even said, I may not be around to see this.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I quit. That means I keep going and I pass this belief and this faith in a better world onto my kids so they can pass it on to their kids. So they can pass it on to their kids. So one day, somebody's going to wake up and that world that I told you about 50, 60 years ago is going to be a reality.
Amen.
That's what we're celebrating.
Yeah. You know, Dwight, I want you to tell, as we're gonna come to a close here, but so I'm gonna repeat a few things. The annual Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Committee Breakfast is going to be 7 a.m. and it's at First Lutheran Church. And so Monday morning, it's early, but it's worth it.
It's a breakfast, not a brunch.
Right. It's a breakfast, not a brunch. And Dwight, I would like for you to tell people how many years. It's got that word annual in front of it. Tell me roughly how many years and how that happens.
Well, I don't know the beginning, but
Right.
the gentleman I know that was a chairman in the beginning was Joe Townsend.
Joe Townsend.
Yes.
Okay.
He's a real estate agent today.
Right.
That's 35 years ago.
Right.
And
Long time ago.
yes,
time.
he was out of it before I even joined. But
Right.
what his dream was and what he wanted to do is continuing. And I'm just proud to be part of that continuation.
And you're passing this to your children.
I'm good. And when I leave here, I pray that my children take over.
And
Because we don't want
their friends.
we don't want the dream or Martin Luther King's legacy, his ideas, who he is, and the ground that he laid to die out.
Right.
We want it to continue. And if we don't teach it to our kids, who's going to teach it to them?
Right.
Because history is written by the victor. And we want to be the victor in our
Yeah.
celebration.
Sometimes being a victor is just to keep showing up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Never leaving.
Exactly.
Never leaving.
Exactly.
Mr. Dwight White, Mr. Anthony Law, I really want to thank you for joining me today. I kind of got you both at the last minute, and you guys always make yourself available, and you're always candid and generous. I want to thank you for that, and the newspaper wants to thank you for that. And I want to repeat one more time, the 35th, roughly, but
Yes.
the annual Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Committee Breakfast is going to be 7 a.m. Monday at First Lutheran Church.
$7 at the door for adults, $5 for children.
Wait.
Well, we've got a couple caveats here. I'm inviting, I'm looking for 7 either daycare or preschool or kindergarten teachers that haven't thought about going. If anybody that sees this knows one of those people, send them there, and when they get there, I'll take care of 7.
Right.
Anthony Law.
7, okay.
If
Daycare or...
You have to be daycare, kindergarten, or preschool teacher.
Gotcha.
So I'd like you to come. Just ask for Dwight White, and I will take care of your ticket.
On your cuff.
On my cuff.
And because this is so important, and Dwight has touched on it over and over again, it's so important that we pass this on. Kids are free. We'll take care of the kids. You just come.
Right.
Bring your kids. I don't care if you got a house full of 30. All you got to do is worry about yourself. If you even, you know what?
I'll tell you. I'll match you. I'll help with that.
My man, that's what's
right.
up there.
I'll help with
That's
that.
my man.
That's what I want.
That's my man.
That's what I
It's
want.
that
to do.
important.
It's I
that
want to help
important.
kids get in there. If you can make it kids free, I'll pay for some of it too.
We got you.
All right.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right.
Thank you.
Because that's the important thing, right?
It
That's
is.
the important
It
thing.
is. It is. It is.
All right.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Mr.
We got something out of this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
No, listen, but thank you both.
Hey,
we appreciate your time at the Register Mail, and you guys are always here for us.
Thank you, sir.
So have a great weekend, and let's have a great Monday.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
have a great
All
one.
right.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much,
Thank
Tom.
you.
Thank you, viewers and listeners, for joining us. We will talk to you again tomorrow, but please remember the annual Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Committee Breakfast is 7 a.m. Monday, and it's at First Lutheran Church. That's 7 a.m. Monday. So be sure to carve out a little time. You can get there before work and spend a little time remembering the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.